This, what we have been living through past 8 years, 9 years since Shaban had passed, is not 80 years, it's not 90 years. We have become so used to things just turning and turning and changing that we take it for nothing. So many things have happened since Shaban had passed that I would say might even shock Shaban. This is happening, and what did you guys do? We don't see the confusion happening so quickly and so fast and so much as it had happened after Shaban passed, Shemalan had passed. This is a definite sign that Dajjal is appearing more and more. His Khalifas are appearing more and more. Evil is one thing, confusion is another. What is confusion? You don't know whether it is good or evil. It's mixed up. That's why you're confused. So you're asking why in the last few years, especially secrets are coming out from YouTube and everything. This is discussion I had with our brother who was driving us. He was talking about so many things. He was talking especially saying, this earth is flat, completely. Above everything is completely water. This is mixed up. Some things he's saying true, some things he's saying no. And he said, look, I'm going to show you proof. I said, okay. First he said, I'm going to show you the proof, and this one you cannot doubt. So he said, wait for it. So he turned on to YouTube and he wanted me to watch a video from YouTube. I said, look, you see. So I look at him. He has a lot of passion. He has a lot of belief. So I said, look, we take our belief and our secrets not from YouTube. Why are they going to put it out there? Later he said, yeah, internet is all shaitan, it's all Dajjalic. I said, okay, but you're taking all the information from there. He's saying he sees so many sheikhs, he's not following, he's just following his own mind. I said, that's the problem. How you are going to be clear when there's so much disinformation. It's not even information anymore. Look, people here in this country forget about spirituality and religion and stuff like that. Open things, whether it's white or it's black, they get confused. And they're sure and they're willing to die to say, no, this happened. Why it happened? Because this one say, because we see one video in YouTube. In this country where people are free to think a little bit. Not in other countries, they're not free to think. Either government is going to be very hard on them, or their religious system, or not too much education, or people pushing them to believe. Free. This country is free. Everyone is free to believe. No one is forcing. You cannot force. Yet you see, clearly, it is white. You say, no, it is black. There's something that is black, they say, no, it is white. What is your proof? This one is saying. Now, there is a very big problem in this country where people have money, they have education, they have access to information and knowledge and people. Yet, what is pulling them to believe this way or that way? Always, it is ego. It's not information, it is not knowledge, it is ego. Your ego will pull you to believe in this one. as opposed to this one. Even if your intelligence is saying, no, it cannot be true, but I don't like this one. I like this one. You like this one, but this one is a liar. Doesn't matter. So everywhere you see, there is big confusion that is happening. And people don't want to follow. Those ones, I'm talking here about Muslims, they don't want to follow anyone now with their spiritual knowledge. In some ways, I don't blame them also. Look at the people outside who claim to have religious or spiritual knowledge, and what mess it is. What a mess it is. But in some ways, it is not because they became bad, but because all the good ones, the system of Dajjal, since the fall of the Khilafat, they have completely wiped out all the good ones. All the sincere ones, they hang them from the trees. All the good ones they've killed in that generation, and they're taking all the bad ones to come to take their place. So I don't blame people for not believing too much, but still, if you're a believer, Allah will never leave you alone. If you're a believer, to know there are still good ones that are there, and to look. That is belief. We had a brother, I was talking to him, he came from a different country, and he said he didn't grow up in Muslim way or Tasawwuf way, but he read something. He had everything, his family, friends, money, education, this, that, traveling, but something is pulling him to Tasawwuf. And he said, if I can only find a place where even there's just one person practicing it sincerely, I will follow. So he went to so many. He didn't feel to follow because they were not worshipping and following properly. They were not teaching properly. The teachings have to be clean. We are not claiming that we are 100% clean. Don't ever claim that. But the teachings itself coming from our Shaykh, coming from 40 grand Shaykhs, it has to teach us something that will save us in this world, save our faith in the time of Dajjal, and to save us in the grave. Not to say my Shaykh is going to save me. No. To take that one step. And in our way, our Shaykh is saying, don't take one step, run. Run in the way of Allah. Don't be lazy to say, I only take one step, my Shaykh is going to save me. Of course, everything is through the Shaykh's support. But you cannot say, you cannot be lazy. None of the Sahabis were. Tabi'in, tabi'in. None of our holy Ottoman grandfathers, they were. They sweat and they worked very hard and they sacrificed so much. They didn't just sit and say, as my heart is pulling me, Shafaat is going to come or support is going to come. No, it's not. If you are in the habit of running to look for truth, you're not going to get fooled. Because you're running, you're looking. If you're just very lazy, that time you're lazy to understand whether something is right or wrong, black or white, or mixed up. And our Shaykh saying to us, for the believers, the confusion of Dajjal is not going to be gray. It is not gray. For the believers. For people who don't really believe, they think everything is mixed up. They are confused. But for the believers, it is not gray. It is the complete opposite of what Allah has brought. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing, Shaykh Effendi, our Shaykh is showing this is black, whole world is saying no, it is white. We may even see it as it's white, but our Shaykh is saying no, this is black. And at that time, we have to hold on to them tightly. Otherwise, we're going to get fooled. So, who is going to listen these days? If you are trained to become First, not to trust anything, but only to trust yourself and to trust your ego, because your ego has not been trained. Then that time you say, my ego is pulling to YouTube videos, and you can say, this is my source of information. Well, at least he's saying YouTube, he's not saying Instagram or TikTok. If it is up to us, we're not even going to come close to any of those things. But because Shaban is saying, do this like this a little bit, we are, but we're not relying on that. But they're looking at those things and it's fooling people. We have to be better than that. Because now I'm listening to the du'as that people are making. Now, more than ever, as Shaban had said all his life, to hold on tightly. More than ever. Because your thinking is going to say, but what about this? Your experience is going to say, what about this? Your friends, your wives, your husbands. YouTube videos. Now is the time that you have to hold on. We have to learn now submission. That Shaban is saying, to a white wall, this is black. We have to say it is black. It says, today is Wednesday. We have to say, today is Wednesday. If you're not understanding your ego, and you're not watching out for the tricks and the traps of your ego, especially in holy days and nights, it will fool you. It will. Start with something small. What about this? This is wrong. He's saying this is wrong. He did this wrong. Okay, keep it there. You don't put a cure to that, that becomes it grows and it grows, it becomes bigger. What is it that is growing? Nothing. It's nothing. It's not there. You have a question, ask. Don't let the question now to become a doubt. Don't let that doubt now to become shaitan's waswasa. Ask. We see sometimes people who have been with us and they leave. They never ask. Never. Then later they say, well, he did this, and this. Every question they have, we have hundreds of answers for them. But they never ask. So it becomes bigger and bigger, it becomes louder and louder in them. And Shaitan is saying there's no answer he can give you. Don't even listen to him. How are we going to work to our submission? Submission has to be tested too. Doesn't mean, yes, I'm going to. No, the Shaykh may test you. There are things that you like and things that you don't like. Things that are easy and things that are very difficult for you to hold on tightly. Otherwise, this world is free. But it's not. The appearances of Dajjal are coming very, very close. We are concentrating on that, yes. So many people concentrating on Mahdi alayhi salam. Of course, Mahdi alayhi salam is going to come to defeat Dajjal with Isa alayhi salam. But we are here not to be tricked. How many are preparing themselves so that we can fight Dajjal? What does that mean? So, we have to be careful a little bit. More things are going to come out. More things are going to come out, not only from YouTube, but from everywhere, that you see, hey, Shaban said this too. But maybe out of 100 things that they say it is wrong, they put only one thing Shaban is saying is right, and you in your naivety, in your foolishness, say, oh, but Shaban said that. That means everything must be right. Everything. And if you're not holding on tightly, you're not asking, you're not seeking, you're going to say, this is also coming from Shaban. As so many, they do the worst, most evil thing, they say this is coming from Shaban. You cannot tell them otherwise. They're going to learn the hard way. They see one movie, and people are sitting, chanting something. They say, look, this is zikr. So whole movie is about tasawwuf. You see some movie, people wearing jubba and carrying canes. You see, this is sunnat. They are like grand sheikhs. We don't take our direction from Hollywood or YouTube or magazines. None. We're following our Shaykh. So we should be a bit more tight, holding on to these things, inshallah, and ask. You have questions? Ask. You have waswasa? Get rid of it. But everyone is free. وَمِنَ اللَّهُ تَوْفِيقَ الْفَاتِحَةِ. Amen. Assalamu alaikum.